Hey everyone, I wanted to go over the new and exciting news that we have for Theatrhythm Final Bar 9, which is set to release onto the Nintendo Switch on February 16th of next year. And today we're going to be checking out not just the confirmation of pretty much the overwhelming majority of the songs that are going to be making up almost 500 plus total at the end of the day. We're going to be checking out just about every single song available, but also every single one of the games that is being featured as well, and which songs for each one of the games as well. So there's going to be a lot of information to go over. I'm going to be leaving a link in the description below for rpgsite.net, which is where the original information came from. Huge shout out to them. And I'm going to suggest that if you're like looking for a specific song on a specific game, pause the video, make sure you just go through the entire list and you can pick up the song that you are interested in for any specific game, which there's plenty of. I believe they're featuring something like 30 plus games in total for this entire collection, so there's certainly a lot to go over. I'm also going to make a very clear distinction between the base level like game, the one that you can purchase for $50. There will be a physical version of that game. There will be also a digital deluxe version, which include an extra 27 songs. That one will cost you $80, and then the premium digital deluxe version costs $100, but that one will include 3 separate season passes, and each one of those season passes features another 90 songs, or like 30 songs per season pass, and there's 3 of them, so there's 90 songs extra added in total. So there's a lot of music to go over here. So by now you should have been seeing on the video screens just some of the games that are being listed there. For example, Final Fantasy has 10 total tracks. Some of the ones that are being listed there originally from the first original 3DS games, but also some of the newer ones as well. Final Fantasy 2 will be featuring 11 music tracks as well. When it comes to Final Fantasy 3, they're talking about introducing 13 different stages. So remember, each one of the games introduces a different stage, different monsters, different characters as well, and also 12 tracks from Final Fantasy 3. When it comes to Final Fantasy 4, you should be seeing that it has 12 included stages and 11 tracks featured there. The airship track is probably one of the most iconic ones from that game. When it comes to Final Fantasy V, they mentioned that there's 16 different stages and 15 different songs. Some are even boss battles as well, which is one of the best parts of that classic title. When it comes to Final Fantasy VI, it introduces 13 songs. Specifically, they don't mention how many tracks there are, but over 10 for sure. Now, when it comes to Final Fantasy VII, which is easily one of the more popular Final Fantasy games, they do specifically divide it up into each one of the Final Fantasy games. So for example, for just base, this would be the PlayStation 1 version of Final Fantasy VII. It's going to include 13 different songs. These are the original Final Fantasy VII versions of that game. When it comes to Advent Children, they're adding 9 extra tracks. When it comes to Crisis Core, this is not the remake, this is just the original one. They're adding 6 separate tracks there. Last Order is only getting 1 brand new track, which is a little bit of a sad thing, but it's understood. It's not that big of a game to begin with. And when it comes to Final Fantasy VII Remake, this would be the brand new one that just launched a few years ago on modern consoles. This one is getting 11 new songs. Every one of those songs is basically some sort of remix or some sort of like changed original version. So all of those songs are essentially brand new to this franchise. Moving over to Final Fantasy VIII, they make mention that there's 18 different stages and 17 different songs. So a lot of the classics ones like maybe I'm a Lion or even The Extreme are making the cut here. Now my favorite Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy IX, is getting 18 stages and 17 different tracks. The battle theme alone makes that worth it to me. It's one of the best ones in the entire franchise, but I'm a big Final Fantasy IX fan. When it comes to Final Fantasy X, it gets a lot of love because it gets Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy X-2 as well. So I believe Final Fantasy X is getting 17 songs, and Final Fantasy X-2 is getting 7 new tracks as well. So definitely for fans of that game, which was very music heavy, Final Fantasy X-2 is getting some love there as well. When it comes to Final Fantasy XI, is getting 19 separate new stages and 18 brand new tracks. Run Fair, I believe, is one of the good ones. The battle theme for that one is extremely good as well. Big fan of that title. When it comes to Final Fantasy XII, they're adding 12 new stages, and I believe what it is 14 different new songs as well. Moving over to Final Fantasy 13 Trilogy, they're dividing every single one of them basically on what the games were. So the base Final Fantasy 13 gets 13 tracks, Final Fantasy 13-2 gets 12 tracks, and Lightning Returns, this would be Final Fantasy 13-3 technically. That one is only getting 7 tracks, but again, that's almost 30 tracks for that entire set. So that trilogy is certainly highly supported. When it comes to Final Fantasy XIV, it's easily one of the most supported games here for obvious reasons. Not only is this as an MMORPG, but also it had plenty of expansions, so it is getting plenty of love here. 33 different stages and over 40 songs in total, so if you're like a fan of one of the expansions, chances are one of those songs made it into the cut here. When it comes to Final Fantasy 15, it's getting 19 different stages and 19 different songs, and plenty of those songs as well are like the new version specifically for this game. They mentioned, I believe, 5 different ones that are extremely brand new for this specific title. So these are even songs that they are essentially remixes of the original game, but they're getting brand new love as well. Another game that is getting a ton of love here is Final Fantasy Tactics, with the introduction of 8 different stages and I believe also 8 different tracks as well, which is something that fans are going to be extremely happy to see. When it comes to Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, they're mentioning 5 different stages and 5 different tracks as well. The Crystal Chronicles set is also getting 8 different tracks and I believe 4 different stages, and Crystal Chronicles The Crystal Bearers is only getting 1 specific new song added in. When it comes to Final Fantasy Type 0, they're giving you 7 different stages and 6 new tracks. Final Fantasy IV Heroes of the Light is also getting 2 brand new songs, and World of Final Fantasy is just getting 1. Sad, since that is a decent game, but I don't necessarily think the music was very memorable. Mobius Final Fantasy, remember, that is not Morbius, that has nothing to do with the movie. This is a mobile game that released a few years back. I believe this one is getting 5 new songs as well. And the most fascinating thing that I saw here is that Strangers of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin, this would be the most brand new chaos game from Final Fantasy, is getting 3 brand new songs. Jack's theme specifically alone, I think that makes it worth it. So you're gonna be a big fan of that. If you love that game, the Jack's theme certainly sticks out for sure. Final Fantasy Fables Chocobo Dungeon is getting 3 specifically known songs, but they're going to be adding 2 songs from that recent remaster, re-release, or whatever it was. They're not necessarily naming which songs of those are. Another one of the franchises is Dissidia, is getting tons of love. 6 new tracks for the original game. 012 Duodecim is getting 5 new tracks, and Fantasy Arcade, I believe this was not a console release, is getting 8 new tracks as well. It is worth mentioning that both NT and the Opera Omnia are also getting 1 extra song added in as well. When it comes to Final Fantasy Record Tactics, they specifically mentioned that 8 new tracks will be added in. They don't make it clear how many stages will be added there. And specifically for the Theatrhythm Final Fantasy series, they specifically mentioned that 3 original songs from the first game are making their way here. Curtain Call is getting 3 original songs being brought back in. One of them is being completely reworked specifically for this game as well. And All-Star Carnivals is getting 9 new tracks as well. Some of them are being reworked. And Final Bar Line, specifically remade for this game completely, are also 2 brand new tracks as well. So plenty to go there. Remember, this is just a base game. This is not DLC or anything like that. This is just a base game of the game. Remember, 385 songs in the base game, so a lot to go over. Last but not least, they do mention some musical arrangements from Final Fantasy Tribute Things. That is the opening track, one of them there. And from Bra Bra Final Fantasy Bras de Bravo 1 and 2, 4 new tracks. Now moving over to the digital deluxe version, this one, remember, I believe is the $70 or $80 version of the game. This one will be including 27 new songs. Now these songs mostly are going to be available on day 1. We don't have any confirmation that some of them are going to be dropping afterwards or anything like that, but they are essentially going to be all available there if you don't choose to just buy the base version of the game. It's going to include songs from Final Fantasy 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, Crystal Chronicles 14, and a few others which remain yet unnamed. So remember, the extra 27 songs here are going to cost you a little bit extra as well. I believe the base game is 50, and this, for those 27 songs alone, they're asking you for basically $30, which is a pretty steep ask. But I think it balances out a little bit better when it comes to the DLC and Season Pass. This would essentially will be the digital premium deluxe version of the game, which costs $100. That's a lot of money, but with the understanding that you're getting 3 season passes, and each one of the season passes includes 30 songs, so you're getting 90 songs in total. They specifically talk about Season 1 having songs from the Saga Volume 1, Live Alive, World Ends With You, Nier Automata, which alone makes it completely worth it, and Saga Volume 2. So Saga getting tons of love there, Nier Automata getting some love there, World Ends With You, big fans of that are going to be excited, and Live Alive just recently released for consoles as well, so that game is getting tons of love right now. Now when it comes to Season Pass 2, they do specifically mention that this one will be dropping on April 26th. Season Pass will be dropping on February 16th, which I believe is the launch of the game as well, correct? So it will be dropping like day and date. Season 1 and Season 2 drops on April 26th. This one includes songs for games like Nier Gestalt, Nier Replicant, which a fantastic, Song of the Ancients, the Devil version. Oh man, look that up, it's so good. Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross Volume 1, Chrono Triggers and Chrono Cross Volume 2 as well, Mana Volume 1, and Octopath Traveler. The battle theme alone, once again, makes it completely worth it there. Now they do specifically mention that later in the year, August 9th, 2023, Season Pass will be dropping, and that would include Saga Volume 3, Mana Volume 2, Xenogears for September 20th. So each one of these are going to have like their very own specific release dates, and 2 more sets for 2 more games have yet to be revealed which ones those are going to be. My guess would be Final Fantasy 16 is going to get some love here at some point. That game will be dropping at some point next summer, so presumably Final Fantasy 16 gets some sort of DLC in October or November, which is what they're naming there, October 11th and or November 1st. So my guess would be Final Fantasy 16 will be one of the last ones that gets added in as Season Pass DLC. So that's about all the information that I have for you guys today. Quite a lot to go over. Certainly going to leave a link in the description below for the entire link of every one of the songs. If you, for whatever reason, did not see it here, certainly check it out there for the original RPGsite.net. Huge shout out to them once again. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.